We all go through things in life, and it seems it's not going to get better. Problems come and problems go. People talk about you, but you still grow. Whatever you want, you must get it straight from within and not listen to the distractions on the outside. You think people are supposed to be there to help you, and it seems in your mind everything is against you. Well, it's time to stand up from within right now on Real Issues. This is Rahn Anthony, and I'm going to be talking about some great things today. Welcome to Real Issues. Today is really serious today. This is Friday, and I want to talk about some things that a lot of people don't know, and this is going to be like a continuation until I complete this entire Inventors, because we need to know this, especially about the African Moors is what I'm going to say, Americans. All right. So thank you for tuning in. And I'm giving you the first, which is, it's an almanac, and that it was created by Benjamin Banneker, 1791. See, our people has been doing a lot and never really got the credit for it. So I'm giving you something. You know, I was in Goodwill and I always go in there just to look through all the stuff and make it, you know, make something good out of it. And I came across this. It's a very nice, let me see, it's like a elastic, well, not elastic, I'm sorry, it's plastic, and it's covered with all of the, it says African American inventors, but I'm going to say the Moors inventors, and I'm going to be giving you that today right here on Real Issues. This is Rahn Anthony, because it has been an issue that it has never been said a lot. They never say it a lot about what goes on in the in our culture as far as the Moors, or what we call African Americans, or black or Negro, all of that commercial stuff. But we are Moorish Americans. So here we go. Benjamin Banneker. Now he created, he did his book. It was called an almanac. And what that is, the almanac is, it's really like, I know, if you ever been into the stores and you see this book that has astrology in it? Well, an annual calendar containing important dates and statistical information such as astronomical data and tide tables. The almanac says there will be above normal rainfall in the first half of the winter in California. So different things like that. And Benjamin Banneker was one of the creators for that. Now, what it says here, and I'm taking this from the biography of Benjamin Banneker, and it says here, at 22, using a borrowed watch as a model, a pocket knife as his only tool, he constructed the first clock made in America. It kept accurate time for over 20 years. Yes, that's Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker, November 9, 1731 to October 9, 1806, was a self-educated scientist, astronomer, inventor, writer, and anti-enslavement publicist. He built a striking clock entirely from wood, published a farmer's almanac, and actively campaigned against enslavement. He was one of the first African Americans, Moorish American, to gain distinction for achievements in science. Wow. Okay, here's the fast facts. Known for, Banneker was a writer, inventor, and naturalist who published a series of farmers' almanacs in the late 1700s. Parents was Robert and Mary Banneker. Died October 9th, 1806 in Oella, Maryland. The color of his skin is in no way connected with strength of the mind or intellectual powers. Benjamin Banneker was born November 9th, as I said, in Baltimore County, Maryland. Although he was born a free man, he was a descendant of enslaved ancestors. At that time, the law dictated that if your mother was enslaved, then you were enslaved. And if she was a free woman, then you were a free woman, a free person. Banneker's grandmother, Molly Wash, was biracial, English immigrant and an indentured servant who married an enslaved African named Banaka, who had been brought to the colonies by a trader of enslavement people. Molly had served 7 years as an indentured servant before she acquired and worked for her own small farm. Molly Wash purchased her future husband, Banaka, and another African who worked on her farm. The name Banaka was later changed to Banaki and then changed to Banneker. Benjamin's mother, Mary Banneker, was born free. Benjamin's father, Roger, was a formerly enslaved person who had bought his own freedom before marrying Mary. Education about Banneker was educated by Quakers, but most of his education was self-taught. He quickly revealed to the world his inventive nature and first achieved national acclaim for his scientific work in the 1791 survey of federal territory, now Washington, D.C. In 1753, he built one of the first watches made in America, a wooden pocket watch. 20 years later, Banneker began making astronomical calculations and enabled him to successfully forecast a 1789 solar eclipse. His estimate, made well in advance of the celestial events, contradicted predictions of better-known mathematicians and astronomers. Wow, this is one of our Moorish Americans who accomplished a lot of these things, and a lot of us, we get a lot of our intuitions and our ability from the power that is within. Now, this is where the creativity comes from, because it all comes from the Father, that lives within us. And I'm going over Banneker because he was one of the Moorish Americans, what later became Black or African American, but we are Moors. Banneker's mechanical and mathematical abilities impressed many, including Thomas Jefferson, who encountered Banneker after George Eliot had recommended him for the surveying team that laid out Washington, D.C. Boy, this is some deep stuff. Banneker is best known for his 6th annual Farmer's Almanac, which he published between 1792 and 1797. In his free time, Banneker began compiling the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia Almanac and Ephemeris. The almanac included information on medicine and medical treatment and listed tides, astronomical information, and eclipses, all calculated by Banneker himself. Oh, this is some great stuff. Now, many historians believe that the first printed almanac dates to 1457 and was printed by Gutenberg in Mainz, Germany. Benjamin Franklin published his Poor Richard's Almanac in America from 1732 to 1758. Franklin used the assumed name of Richard Saunders and wrote witty maxims in his almanacs, such as light purse, heavy heart, and hunger never saw bad bread. Banneker's almanac, though they appeared later, were more focused on delivering accurate information than on communicating Banneker's personal views. Wow. And then a letter to Thomas Jefferson. On August 19, 1791, Banneker sent a copy of his first almanac to Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson. In an endorsed letter, he questioned the enslavers' sincerity as a friend to liberty. He urged Jefferson to help get rid of absurd and false ideas that one race is superior to another. Banneker wished Jefferson's sentiments to be the same as his, that one universal Father afforded us all the same sensations and endowed us with the same faculties. This is Real Issues, and I'm talking about a lot of the Moors, which are inventors that we don't know about. So this is going to be going on for a minute, y'all. So let's get to some music, and I'll be right back. I will be talking about The Air Conditioned Unit by Frederick M. Jones. This is Rahn Anthony, Real Issues. Be right back.
I'm sealing up this letter. I just finished signing your name. My friends would all be surprised if they knew I was playing this game. I'll pretend it's a special delivery, and just to give me a hint, I'll use your favorite color smeared with your favorite scent. I know you think that I'm crazy, but I can't lose. What have I left? So I've decided to write this letter and send it to myself. So to make my story short, in the mailbox I will place this letter that I wrote, and it's stamped with your lovely face. Talk to your picture. Get me a pencil and paper and write all the things. Say all the things I've heard you say before, but with a little extra sugar and spice. I guess it makes me feel kinda nice. I write a letter to myself. Oh, write another letter to myself. I write another letter to myself. Write a letter. What is a home when you're all alone? It seems so full. It seems so full, but so empty. Every presence is all in the air. I write a letter to myself. I write another letter to myself. Write a letter. I write another letter to myself.
Yeah, this is Rahn Anthoni, Real Issues, and I'm talking about it. I'm telling you about the Moorish American inventors, which later became African Americans, Black, Negro, whatever you want to call us, but we're Moorish Americans. We're talking about inventors, y'all.
Say it one time. Na 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 na. Say it one more time. Na 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 na. Long tall Sally, twisting with Lucy, doing the what to say. Roll over on your back, I like it like that. Do that jerk. Watch me work, y'all. I'll do it. I'll do it. Got to do it. Got me.
Yeah, that's Wilson Pickett. Giving it to you. You know, I'm talking about this and I'm playing some music, kind of like to go with this. But, let me tell you, Frederick McKinley Jones was a Moorish American, and he was a prolific early 20th century black inventor who helped to revolutionize both the cinema and refrigeration industries. Between 1919 and 1945, he patented more than 60 inventions in divergent fields, with 40 of those patents in refrigeration. He is best known for inventing the first automatic refrigeration system for trucks. Jones was born on May 17th, 1893 in Cincinnati, Ohio. His mother died when he was 9, and he was forced to drop out of school. A priest in Covington, Kentucky, raised him until he was 16. Upon leaving the rectorial, Jones began working as a mechanics helper at the R.C. Crother's garage in Cincinnati. Jones would spend much of his time observing the mechanics as they work on cars, taking in as much information as possible. These observations, along with an insatiable appetite for learning through reading, helped Jones develop an incredible base of knowledge about automobiles and the inner workings. So he wanted to know more about the automobiles and the inner working of it. Within 3 years, his skills and love for cars had netted him a promotion to shop foreman. By 19, he had built and driven several cars in racing exhibition, and soon became one of the most well-known racers in the Great Lake region. During World War I, Jones was a sergeant in the U.S. Army and served in France as an electrician. While serving, he rewired his camps for electricity, telephones, and telegraph service. In 1919, after being discharged by the Army, he moved to Hadlock, Minnesota, where he began his studies of electronics, eventually building a transmitter for a local radio station. To make ends meet, Jones often aided local doctors by driving them around for house calls during the winter seasons. When navigation through the snow proved difficult, Jones attached skis to the undercarriage of an old airplane body and attached an airplane propeller to a motor. He was soon whisking doctors around town at a high speed in his new snow machine. So he was like an inventor of a lot of different things. Over the next few years, he would invent more and more innovative machines, which one of the doctors he worked for complained that he had to wait for patients to come into his office for x-ray exams. Jones created a portable x-ray machine that could be taken to the patients. Unfortunately, like many of his early inventions, Jones never thought to apply for a patent. So we got to be careful out here. I'm saying this to say, because we are inventors. He watched helplessly as other men made fortunes off of their version of the same device. Oh, man. Jones began new projects, including a radio transmitter, personal radio sets, and eventually motion pictures devices. In 1927, Joseph Numero, the head of Ultraphone Sound Systems, hired Jones as an electrical engineer. Numero Company made sound equipment that was used in movies housed throughout the Midwest, always the innovator. Jones converted silent movie projectors into talking projectors by using scrap metal for parts. Wow. In 1939, Jones invented and received a patent for an automatic ticket dispensing machine to be used at movie theaters. He later sold the patent rights to RCA. See, these are the things that we need to know. And this man was a Moorish American, a black man. Eventually, Numero and Jones formed a partnership called the U.S. Thermal Control Company. With Jones as vice president, he was given the task of developing a device that would allow large trucks to transport perishable products without spoiling. Jones set to work and his automatic refrigeration system, the Thermo King, was born. Eventually, he modified the original design so it could be outfitted for trains, boats, and ships. Wow, we are creative. The Thermo King transformed the shipping and grocery businesses. Grocery chains were now able to import and export products that previously could only have been shipped as canned goods. As a result, the frozen food industry was born. And the first time consumers could enjoy fresh food from around the globe, and United States Thermo became a multi-million-dollar company. During World War II, a need for a unit for storing blood serum and transfusions in medicine led Jones into further refrigeration research. For this, he created an air conditioning unit for military field hospitals and a refrigeration for military field kitchens. As a result, many lives were saved. A modified form of his device is still used today. In 1944, Jones became the first African-American, Moorish American, to be elected into the American Society of Refrigeration Engineers. During the 1950s, he was a consultant to the United States Department of Defense and the United States Bureau of Standards. When he died on February 21st, 1961, Jones had more than 60 patents. In honor of his tremendous achievements as an inventor, he was preposterously awarded the National Medal of Technology. Jones was the first black inventor to ever receive such an honor. Wow. These things are things that we all need to know about the Moorish Americans, because these are the things we created. This we as a Moorish American created this entire, everything, as you can see, this goes all the way back. So it's a lot of things that a lot of the Moorish Americans, the black, Negro, whatever you want to call it, but they're Moors, were never given the recognition. So that's why I'm doing this today, to let you know. Coming up next, automatic cutoff switch. Now, this was done January 1st, 1889 by Granville T. Woods. I'll be right back. This is Rahn Anthony, Real Issues, giving you the grease.
My love, I'll never find the words, my love, to tell you how I feel, my love. Mere words could not explain. Precious love, you held my life within your hands, created everything I am, taught me how to live again. Only you care when I needed a friend, believed in me through thick and thin. This song is for you, filled with gratitude and love. God bless you. You make me feel brand new. For God bless me with you. You make me feel brand new. I sing this song 'cause you make me feel brand new. My love, whenever I was insecure, you built me up and made me sure. You gave my pride back to me. Precious friend, with you I always have a friend. You're someone who I can depend, to walk a path that sometimes bends. Without you, life has no meaning or rhyme, like notes to a song out of time. How can I repay you for having faith in me? God bless you. You made me feel brand new. For God bless me with you.
Mr. Stylistics, giving it to you, y'all, right here on Real Issues. You know, it's time to talk about this man right here. Grantville T. Woods. Grantville T. Woods, known as Black Edison. Grantville Woods was an African-American, Moorish American inventor who made key contributions to the development of the telephone, streetcar, and more. Who was Grantville T. Woods? Grantville T. Woods, born to free African Americans, Moorish Americans, held various engineering and industrial jobs before establishing a company to develop electrical apparatus known as Black Edison. He registered nearly 60 patents in his lifetime, including a telephone transmitter, a trolley wheel, and the multiplex telegraph, over which he defeated a lawsuit by Thomas Edison. Wow. See, a lot of things that were happening and, trying to take the recognition and take the money and all these things. It's a lot of things I'm learning right now is we're living in from darkness to light. And these are the things that were in the dark, and I've been chosen to bring it to the light. So for the next few weeks, you're going to be hearing this. So this is going to be something great for us because we have been in the dark for so long. It's time for us to be in the light. And that's what's going on right now. This particular guy, as I stated earlier, created an automatic cut-off switch. Now, we just take for granted and just cut switches off and cut them back on and cut them off, cut them back on. But, with all the brainwashing that we've been up under with the MK Ultra and all that kind of stuff, you have to look that up. But, it just never crossed our mind until things happen and we become awakened. So I'm waking people up with this because this needs to be heard. Born in Columbus, Ohio, on April 23rd, 1856, Woods received little schooling as a young man and in his early teens took up a variety of jobs, including as a railroad engineer in a railroad machine shop, as an engineer on a British ship, in a steel mill, and as a railroad worker. From 1876 to 1878, Woods lived in New York City, taking courses in engineering and electricity, a subject that he realized early on held the key to the future. Back in Ohio in the summer of 1878, Woods was employed for 8 months by the Springfield, Jackson, and Pomeroy Railroad Company to work at the pumping station and the shifting of cars in the city of Washington Courthouse, Ohio. He was then employed by the Dayton and Southeastern Railway Company as an engineer for 13 months. During this period, while traveling between Washington Courthouse and Dayton, Woods began to form ideas for what would later be credited as his most important inventions. See, when we are living from within, different ideas come from the power from within, which is our Creator, and gives it to us so that we can bring it out. And this is what these inventors were doing. The inductor telegraph, he worked in the area until the spring of 1880 and then moved to Cincinnati. Earlier inventing career. Living in Cincinnati, Wood eventually set up his own company to develop manufactured and small electrical apparatus. And in 1889, he filed his first patent for an improved steam boiler furnace. His later patents were mainly for electrical devices, including his second invention, an improved telephone transmitter. The patents for his device, which combined the telephone and telegraph, was brought by Alexander Graham Bell, and the payment freed Woods to devote himself to his own research. One of his most important inventions was the troller, a grooved metal wheel that allows streetcars, later known as trolleys, to collect electrical power from overhead wires. Wow. Induction telegram. Wood's most important invention was the multiplex telegraph, also known as the induction telegraph or block system in 1887. The device allowed men to communicate by voice over telegram wires, ultimately helping to speed up important communications and subsequently preventing crucial errors such as train accidents. Wow, I would have never thought of anything like that. Woods defeated Edison lawsuit that challenged his patent and turned down Edison's offer to make him a partner. Thereafter, Woods, often known as Black Edison. After receiving the patent for the multiplex telegraph, Woods reorganized his Cincinnati company as the Woods Electric Company. In 1890, he moved his own research operation to New York City, where he was joined by a brother, Yates Woods, who also had several inventions of his own. Wood's next most important invention was the power pick-up device in 1901, which is the basis of the so-called third rail, currently used by electric power transit systems from 1902 to 1905. He received patents for an improved air brake system. Wow. Death and legacy. By the time of his death on January 30th, 1910 in New York City, Woods had invented 15 appliances for electric railways, received nearly 60 patents, many of which were assigned to the major manufacturers of electrical equipment that are a part of today's daily life. Wow. And also he created the automatic cutoff switch. This is some deep stuff, man. We need to know these things because this is something, because we have that in us. So we have it in us and it's coming from within. So when you get an idea, patent it because it will be stolen. And you got to patent these things. If you don't know how to patent it, contact me, okay? And I can walk you through it, show you where to go. You can contact me at RahnAnthoni@proton.me. I patent the Special Needs Rock Awards. I did it myself, so I can show you or I can do it for you. And what you can do, you just need to reach out to me. That's Rahn Anthoni at proton.com. RahnAnthoni at proton.me. I'm sorry, proton.me. Let's get back to some more music, and I will be back to talk about G. Cook automatic fishing device that he created. 1899. This is Real Issues, giving you the best, the grease, right here on Real 1100.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me say
Tina Turner. I took y'all way back, because I'm dealing with this right here. These are some great inventors, Moorish Americans, and I'm just so glad because it inspires me so that I can patent my stuff. So make sure you patent it because they'll steal it. I'm talking about George Cook, okay? George Cook invented the automatic fishing device. Wow. Okay. When he was born, George Cook birthed April 18th, 1830, and he died April 14th, 1904. Now, George Cook, where he was from, George Cook was born in Louisiana, Kentucky, where he died in 1914. George Cook was, he was an inventor, and he received awards for his automatic fishing pole. His inventing was the automatic fishing pole. It had a loaded carriage that slid back on the short rail with the frame of the device immediately and also would ring on an alarm. Now, I've been looking up this stuff and you can't really find that much on it, but I'm letting you know this is patent. He married Mary Halsey Thomas, 1821. On March 23rd, 1846, he served as a principal of the Albany Academy in Albany, New York, from 1850 to 1852. His school life, George Cook did not school, but was soon taken out of school by his mom because had to help out at home, but later went back. So he went to school. They had to take him out because back in the day, you had to work. You work. And really, when you go to the school from within, you learn so much wisdom. And that's really how he really got to invent these things, because when you bog down, and I'm not taking away from school, but when you bog down in school, you're not even focused enough to know what's going on the inside. So that's a lot of things that were taken from us when we could have been taught at home or like they used to do back in the day. He was an African-American, Moorish American, who invented the How Mad, the auto fishing device. So it says invited, but who invented the fishing device. See, back in the day, these were things, and I had to look at it to make sure, but he invented that. So if you hear me say something, I go back and correct it. It's because the way that it was written back then. The auto fishing device was mad for people that like fishing. There were no specific reasons for just to make fishing easy. Wow, this is just something, and I'm going to look later and see if they still have the automatic fishing poles, because that is something good. If you have that, that's a great thing to have if you are a fisherman. All right. Oh, this is some great stuff. So if you are a person a man or woman that look into within and know all the things about who you are and what you do within yourself, make sure you get involved in that and patent everything that you get, because you don't want anybody to take it from you. Okay, I'm going to be talking next about the automatic gear shift by Richard B. Spikes that was invented February 6, 1932. I'll be right back.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I will always love you. I will always love life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happiness, but above all this I wish you love. And I will always love you. 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 Darling, I love you. I'll always love you.
Wow, that's the sound of Whitney Houston. I miss Whitney Houston so much. Wow. Okay, I'm talking about Richard Spikes invented automatic gear shift for automobiles. I would have never even, Richard Bowie Spikes was born on October 2nd, 1871. According to the 1880 census, lists his birthplace as Texas. Although in later years, Spike would claim he was actually born in an Indian territory, which was later become the state of Oklahoma. In 1900, Spike married Lula B. Charlton and would have one son born in 1902. After moving around a lot during the early 1900s, the family would settle in California. Professionally, he worked as a mechanic, a saloon keeper, and a barber. Spike would later become an inventor with more than dozen patents under his name. Spikes was interested in automobile mechanic and sought to improve the operation of items such as barber chairs and trolley cars. Donate to keep the Black Detour alive. That's what they're asking. So, and I'm taking this right here from the Black Detour. So if you can look that up, donate, because they're keeping it alive. On April 9th, 1907, Spike patented a beer tapper, United States patent number 850070, connected to a keg. The tap used turbine to ease and release the beer from the barrel, while also improving freshness over time. Spike would also invent a self-locking rack for billiard cues and received the patent on October 11, 1910, U.S. patent number 9722277. A decade later, on December 14, 1920, Spike successfully patented a trolley pole arrestor, United States patent 1362197. It goes a lot more than that. Spike device would automatically pull down the pole when the circuit is broken to prevent the breaking of the trolley wire and injuring to the pole. During the next 40 years, Spike would patent at least 7 other inventions, including a brake testing machine in 1921. Patent graph for conveying electric currents to trolley wires in 1923, combination milk bottle opener and cover in 1926, a device to obtain average samples and temperatures of tank liquids for automobiles and industry in 1931, a improved gear shift transmission system in 1932, a horizontally swinging barber chair in 1950, an automatic brake safety system in 1962 when he was 84 years old. Wow. Boy, these are Moors, y'all. I'm telling you, these are Moorish Americans. We built this country. That's what Trump said all the time. Spike's best known invention in his gear shifting device aimed to keep the gears from various speeds in constant mesh, enhancing the turn on the century invention of the automatic transmission. Additionally, his automatic brake safety system was significant according to the patent application. If provides a reserve braking action in case of damage to the normal braking means. Spike is also widely credited with patenting an automobile signaling system, turn signals, in the early 1910s through a patent record has yet to be located at this time. Spike died on January 22nd, 1965 in Los Angeles at the age of 86. The turn signal. Man, when y'all turn the signal, y'all make sure y'all think of Spike, okay? Because Spike spiked it up. He spiked it up. Now, I'm going to be talking about right now, I'm just going to go right on into it, the blood plasma bag. This is by Charles Drew. This is approximately 1945. And you know, a lot of people have been using the blood plasma bag because I've seen where a lot of people always go there to get their blood, to give plasma. So the next time you go in there for the blood and you see that blood plasma bag, just know that the inventor was a Moorish American and what they call now a black man. So this is something that, wow, Charles Drew invented, the inventor of the blood bank. Woo, woo. This is good, man. I mean, this is good because, when you go in there, you just have to look and notice that this is what happened. At the time when millions of soldiers were dying on the battlefield across Europe, the invention of Dr. Charles R. Drew. Wow. Charles R. Drew, countless lives. He saved countless lives. Drew realized that separating and freezing the component parts of blood would enable it to be safely reconstituted later. This technique led to the development of the blood bank. Charles Drew was born on June 3rd, 1904 in Washington, D.C. Drew excelled in academics and sports during his graduate studies at Amherst College in Massachusetts. He was also an honor student at McGill University Medical School in Montreal, where he specialized in psychological, they got it spelled wrong, anatomy. Charles Drew researched blood plasma and transfusion in New York City, where he became a doctor of medical science and the first African-American, Moorish American to do so at Columbia University. There he made his discovery relating to the preservation of blood. By separating the liquid red blood cells from the near solid plasma and freezing the two separately, he found that blood could be preserved and reconstituted at a later date. Whew, smart man. Charles Drew's system for the restoring of blood plasma, blood bank, revolutionized the medical profession. Dr. Drew was chosen to set up a system for storing blood and for its transfusions, a project nicknamed Blood for Britain. This prototypical blood bank collected blood from 15,000 people for soldiers and civilians in World War II. Britain and paved the way for the American Red Cross Blood Bank, of which he was the first director. In 1941, the American Red Cross decided to set up blood donor stations to collect plasma for the United States Armed Forces. Wow. These are the things we need to know. Woo. This is some deep stuff. I hope you all are listening. And if you're on YouTube or anything, please share this. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, any social media, because these are some things that we all need to know. All right. This is Rahn Anthony, and I'm going to, I think I went over my time a little bit, but I really appreciate this. This is something big and something great. Make sure you reach out to me. And also for the Special Needs Rock Awards, please donate. You can donate Cash App, $RONALDHATCHER, so we can get the Special Needs Rock rolling. This is Rahn Anthony. Thank you. I love you all. And I'll be talking about some more next week right here on Real 1100, Real Issues, giving you the grease. This is Rahn Anthony. I'm out. I hope you enjoyed this show and you feel good about yourself because you're it. If you ever want to give up, stand up from within and know that you can make it no matter what anybody says, no matter what the gossip is talking about you, no matter when the bills come. Always remember that you are it. Live from within. Know that God lives within you and not on the outside, and you can make it. Tune in every Friday p.m. 1100 a.m.